it's a new, and we like new. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we don't like to go through our closet and go through old. And so, but I think it's definitely one of those things that because it's geared towards everybody else's products and not necessarily just yours, that is going to stick around for a lot longer. So what, being I said all of that, what influence do you think that you have like given to this generation and the people that, you know, like might not be where you are yet, but they're aspiring to be there?
I feel like the influence that I have on them and what I'm displaying to them is the fact of like, because of this pandemic and everything else that's going on, we have free game all over this online market. You know what I mean? Like, you can make money instantly online. You don't have to like just go outside and work a 9 to 5 and wait 2 weeks to get money. No, like you could do a service for somebody, 5 minutes later they pay you via PayPal, Cash App, you know, Venmo. And I feel like it's just inspiring people to get the online hustle on. So
yeah, the generation is definitely different. The way that we move is definitely different. So there's been a lot more opportunity to advance quicker and to elevate. And so you kind of see like who's really just being lazy and then who is utilizing their resources. And that really is the difference between somebody that me and you might have just went to school with 2 years ago that's still in the same exact predicament as now. You know what I'm saying? It's really a mental game. And I feel like you've cultivated such a deep mental that your feet have followed. We were joking earlier before we started about the whole like, yo, where the big booties at, where the hoes at. But like on God, it's kind of like you're there now. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, even though you was joking, it's like you're there now. Like you got that. It's no longer, hey Kaylee, where's no, I got that on the loop. So it's a completely different feel. You feel what I'm saying? So even with the products that you're about to drop, I feel like you're gonna have fans across all platforms. You know, like you're gonna release different stuff. I feel like they're gonna fuck with every, you know what I'm saying? Like the things that you release, and that's honestly why I exist, because I want to expose you as an artist on a more personal scale and get a little bit deeper. Because I feel like true exposure is the best way to have fans that come from OnlyFans, just like that one platform. Now they're on all 7 of your songs, all 7 of your pages, or wherever you lead them, because they've now fallen in love with you. You know what I'm saying? So if you could get deep without getting deep, what is something that you would convey about your behind the scenes process of how, not necessarily you got here, because we've already hints on that, but I know an example would be that I know before when you used to get on stage, there are certain like things you had to go through, a certain routine, so that you would not portray that anxiety that we talked about. What were some of those things, and how did you get into a routine now that you've stopped them?
I mean, the only thing that I honestly have kept from that routine is probably just like, you know, I still take a drink sometime like before like extensive amounts of work, this entertainment. But honestly, just a lot of breathing techniques now, and just like trying to mentally put myself in that headspace before the predicament happens. You know what I mean? It's like, not that musicians pretend or anything, but I kind of also look at it just like how actors look at their job. You know, like you gotta actually become that person and what you're doing like up here before you like present it out here and make everybody else believe it. If you don't believe it, the people watching you ain't gonna believe it. You know what I mean? So yeah,
it's a very powerful point to make. It's something that I definitely go back to in a lot of conversations, is the fact that there's so many, oh, it must look nice or it must be nice, and we constantly as a generation look to the right and the left, but we don't realize what that person had to walk through in order to get to where they are. So like I'm very adamant about portraying that process, you know what I'm saying? Because the same person looking at you today that's like, dang, I wish, but if you offered the shoes for them to put on of what you had to walk through from the beginning until now, a lot of people would say, nah, I'm good. And that's really what I'm here to do. You know, like I want to talk about the things that hinder people from living in an artist format, because what you really just described was, dang, like the pills, the alcohol, the anxiety, the panic attacks, they all hindered me, but I was able to mentally prepare before I got there. So really the anxiety was coming from not being aware of what you were about to get to. Now that you're aware of that, you're like cultivating things into your routine that are making you aware. The time that you get there, you're not dealing with the same exact emotions that you would have before.
Exactly.
If I'm reading things correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
Burp. What's good?
Nah, not what's good. We already done with the conversation of what's good.
Mm-hmm.
What's left? Well, what's left for them to say? Okay, so actually, there is something left to say because we want to convey a solution, right? So everything I do, everything that I broadcast, everything I post out, I always want to leave off on some note of solution. One solution you named throughout this podcast was breathing techniques. What are those breathing techniques and how could they help a person that's watching that also has anxiety and panic attacks?
Breathing techniques is a little bit like a counting game. You inhale, and while you're inhaling, count how many seconds that you took to inhale, and challenge yourself to double that time exhaling, and do that about 2 to 3 times, and it actually like rebalances some of the chemicals in your head to like slow your mind down. So for all y'all that's out there that's like displaced workers, if you're stressing, take a moment to breathe, and kind of like the song said, find yourself an online hustle. Don't fret, get it on.